I'll be honest with you, I didn't expect my so-called peaceful return to Lake Alderwood to kick off with flashing red and blue lights, 3 cop cars pulling up the gravel, and me, barefoot, coffee mug in hand, staring down a woman in neon pink athleisure screaming about ecological tyranny. Not exactly the homecoming I pictured. I figured I'd fish a little, breathe in that sharp mountain air, maybe nurse a beer or two by the lake, and let myself miss my old man in private. But if life's taught me anything, it's that you never see the curveball coming, not when you think you deserve a break. So it's about 7:30 in the morning, the kind of air that bites a little, crisp enough you know you're somewhere honest, somewhere the rest of the world hasn't quite ruined yet. Birds flitting around my dad's old feeder, lake looking like polished glass, just still, like the world's holding its breath for you. And then, smash, piece goes flying, broken in 1,000 pieces. Like a bottle tossed at concrete. She appears out of nowhere, tall, sharp, elbows like knives, blonde ponytail yanked so tight it looked like she was trying to vacuum seal her brain. In one hand, a clipboard. In the other, a trembling little Pomeranian, sunglasses that could double as satellite dishes perched on her face. She marches down my dock like she owns every inch of it. Which is hilarious. She doesn't even own the right to breathe on my land. Later I'd learn her name was Clarissa Benton, president of the Timber Crest Community Harmony Council, a fancy name for an HOA that, spoiler alert, didn't even legally exist anymore. But we'll get to that circus. She stops short, shrieks. Honestly, the woman's voice could shatter windshield glass. Sir, you are in violation of Timber Crest Environmental Code Section 8-4. She brandishes that clipboard like it's a warrant, jabbing it right at my dad's bird feeder like she'd found a meth lab. Unauthorized wildlife disruption, she says, and I almost spit my coffee out. You mean feeding birds? I blink at her, sip my coffee, genuinely trying to figure out if I'm still asleep. She snorts, looking at me like I'd insulted her at a town hall meeting. Bird feeders disrupt natural migration patterns and seed distribution. The dog yaps, like it's backing her up. Look, if it ended there, I probably would have laughed it off, chalked it up to a misunderstanding, and gone back to my plans. But no, she whips out her phone, slaps it on speaker, and 10 minutes later, sirens. 3 sheriff's cars roll up my drive, crunching gravel like I'm some fugitive and not a half-awake guy in plaid pajama pants clutching a chipped mug that says, "Best son ever." Deputies hop out looking for hostages. "Sir, we need to see your ID." That was Deputy Moore. I remember because of the look on Clarissa's face. Pure smugness, like she'd won a gold medal in a sport. Only she played. That dog's vibrating, practically judging me. I don't argue. I set my mug down, open the old metal box Dad kept his fishing licenses in, pull out a battered leather folder, deed. All the paperwork. Not just for the cabin, but the whole valley, lake, woods, water rights, the works. The sheriff flips through it, double-checks the stamps, squints at the signatures. I watched the truth hit him like a bag of rocks. Confusion, then disbelief, then this slow, reluctant respect. "This says you own the whole valley," he mutters, and I just shrug, real casual. "My dad bought it in '92. Left it to me." Clarissa laughs, this high, shrill sound that makes my teeth itch. "Impossible. No one can own the lake. That's governed by community charter." The officer just shakes his head. "Ma'am, these are county records. He owns the land, the water, the access. Private property." Her jaw drops. No kidding, I thought she was going to pop it out of socket. She sputters about community order and ecological governance. But I just take my papers, tuck them neat, and tell her, maybe the community should check the county records every once in a while. The sheriff nods. "You're good, sir. Sorry to bother you." One of the younger deputies even chuckles. "Guess you just seceded from the HOA," and walks away. And I'll admit, for a split second, I thought that was it. If only. If people like Clarissa could lose with grace, we'd all be better off, right? Instead, I watch her tear off in her little electric golf cart, down the mountain road like she's the president, and I'm some kind of foreign threat. And somewhere in my gut, I know the peace I came for. Well, it's hanging by a thread now. My dad used to say, "Son, land brings out the truth in people. Some protect it. Some just want to own what ain't theirs." Didn't make sense to me then. It sure would soon. That night, I'm sitting by the fireplace, listening to the old boards creak, watching the fire flicker, just lost in my head. I can't stop thinking about her, the way she just assumed power, the way she stared through those bug-eye sunglasses. Like I was a roach she couldn't quite squash. It's not that she cared about birds or the environment. She hated that someone existed out here who wouldn't kneel. The next morning, curiosity wins. Out. I head into Alderwood, tiny town, one diner, one bait shop, and a post office where Old Man Wilkins handles both the stamps and the local gossip. I swing by the real estate office. Benton and Brookstone Realty. You seeing the pattern? Receptionist looks at me like I've asked for the secret nuclear codes when I mention property rights. Oh, you mean Clarissa's counsel? She whispers, stretching out counsel like it pains her teeth. I piece together the story over coffee and a slice of blueberry pie across the street. Because honestly, you don't go to war with an HOA president on an empty stomach. Turns out, there was a Timbercrest HOA, once. Years ago, it dissolved because nobody bothered to renew it except Clarissa, and she just kept going. Printed forms, held meetings, collected dues, fined people, just because no one ever called her bluff. She built a little empire out of sheer stubbornness and Xerox paper. I drive back, just shaking my head. She'd turned HOA cosplay into her own little government. Only it wasn't a game for her. It was everything. Things get weirder. Signs show up on my trees. HOA territory, private access only. I get a letter, totally bogus, on home-printed stationery, claiming I owe $2,500 in environmental penalties. Flyers on my truck accusing me of disturbing aquatic symmetry. You'd think I was out here clubbing baby seals instead of feeding chickadees. Did I freak out? No. Dad always said, let a fool show their hand before you play yours. So I documented everything. Every sign. Every phony notice. Every time she moved a property stake. Yep, she physically moved them. Pushed one over 30 feet from where it belonged. You can't make this stuff up. People hungry for control always think nobody's watching. Then, a couple days later, she's back. Same sunglasses, same yappy dog, but the attitude's changed. All sweetness and poison. Mr. Hayes, she says, that's me. By the way, Evan Hayes, I'm giving you one chance to comply before we escalate to county authorities. I lean back, arms folded, calm as a lake at sunrise. Pretty sure the county already weighed in. Clarissa, her jaw twitches. You don't understand. This valley runs on unity and structure. Without governance, everything falls apart. I smile, just a little, enough to sting. Maybe what's falling apart isn't the valley. Maybe it's just your control. For a second, I thought she was going to throw her dog at me. I will not let one outsider destroy our system, she hisses. I shrug. Funny. Seems like the only system here is the one you invented. She storms off again, heels pounding my porch boards like war drums. That night, when the wind dies down and the moon's high, I get this feeling, like the lake's holding its breath with me. I know she's not finished. So I check my trail cam 2 nights later. There she is, flashlight in one hand, stack of flyers in the other. Muttering to herself as she staples up notices, takes pictures like she's building a case for the FBI. She glances up, just once, eyes wild with righteous fury. I back up that footage 3 ways, cloud, drive, SD card. Even inside a coffee can under the porch. Paranoia is a lifestyle out here. Soon enough, I get a visit from Landon Pierce, the county environmental officer. Nice guy? Looks like he'd rather be fishing. I show him the video. He shakes his head, low whistle. She built a dam in a natural creek without a permit? That's a violation of half the eco codes in the book. Turns out, she was stacking rocks to raise the lake level, trying to claim more shared waterfront. I caught it all on camera. Landon says he'll file a report. By then, the flyers in town say, avoid lot 7, aggressive individual. That's my lot, my childhood fishing spot. She'd turned my dad's old memory into a warning. That did not sit right. So one night, I walk over to her place, modern. Glass palace, sharp lines, built for showing off. She answers in a silk robe, avocado mask on her face, like she's some spa general. I hand her a cease and desist letter. You set foot on my land. Again, you deal with the sheriff. Her eyes widen, then narrow, ice cold. You think paper scares me? Nope, I tell her. Truth does. Next morning, a drone, hovering over my cabin. Not some kid's toy. Either, a proper one, camera gimbal, Benton Property Management sticker on the side. I wave. It zips off. Through the binoculars, I swear, I see her watching me back with her own pair. Two adults in the mountains, spying on each other at 8 a.m. You couldn't script it better. Then, things get even more ridiculous. Strangers in neon vests show up, claiming they're HOA inspectors. I record them. They leave fast when I ask for credentials and point at my no trespassing sign. The sheriff rolls up, third time now. Mr. Hayes, keep recording. That woman doesn't know when to quit. Then comes the real storm, literal, this time. Midnight, thunder cracking the sky open, rain slamming the tin roof. In the chaos, I hear something snap. I run outside, my observation. Decks collapsing into the lake, supports hacked through. Only one trail cam survived, the hidden one. It caught a flash of lightning. Clarissa in a soaked hoodie, hair plastered, sawing at the beams. Like a rabid raccoon. That was it. Next morning, muddy boots, wrinkled flannel, bags under my eyes. I march into the sheriff's office, drop the flash drive. The deputies trade that look, you know? The one where paperwork turns into a real case. Within hours, cruisers head to her house. I watch her pacing, shouting, hands flailing like she's losing her grip on reality itself. They take her away, not in cuffs, but close. She's hit with trespassing, property destruction, violating a restraining order, environmental fines, foreclosure threats, court orders. Her fake kingdom crumbles. But here's the weird part. Victory is quiet. The valley feels still. Neighbors come by, Doug the retired surveyor, Rose the widow by the creek, even some teenagers offering to help rebuild the deck. Because that lady fined us once for skateboarding. People start talking, laughing, breathing easy. Turned out, Clarissa didn't just rule the land. She ruled through fear. And when the fear left, the community came back. Months go by. Winter frosts the cabins. The lake ices over. Her glass palace sits empty. Bank took it. Realtor asks if I want to buy it. For a second, I hesitate. Then I get it. Owning land isn't power. It's stewardship. So I buy it. Not to brag. To turn something built on control into something built on restoration. I make it Lookout Lodge, a place for hikers, veterans, families who need a break. Only rule: respect the land and each other. People come, they write me letters. One woman says she hasn't sat outside in years because Clarissa fined her for wind chimes. I keep that note in my dad's old journal, next to his land maps and scribbled thoughts about this place being a refuge, not a kingdom. One spring afternoon, hiking a ridge, I find an old marker, my initials and dad's, carved into steel. I brush off the moss, feel something warm in my chest. Not nostalgia, but inheritance. Not just of land, but of responsibility. I climb the lookout tower, rebuilt stronger, and watch the valley glow in the sunset. I whisper, "I'm still here, Dad." The wind answers, soft through the pines. But hey, silence doesn't always mean peace. Sometimes it's just the world catching its breath before the next storm. Maybe folks like Clarissa never really change. Maybe they're just waiting for a new valley to conquer. Sometimes, when the wind's just right, I still expect to hear that drone or spot a pink tracksuit darting through the trees. People hunger for power in strange ways. Some build community, some build cages. What I know for sure, land doesn't pick sides. It honors respect. Peace isn't quiet. It's something you earn, breath by breath, choice by choice, boundary by boundary, not drawn in anger, but in truth. So if anybody ever tries to take what's yours, your land, your dignity, your right to feed a damn bird, don't fight with rage. Fight with patience, with proof, with the knowledge that truth always outlasts noise. Sometimes, the loudest victories sound like wind in the pines, water lapping at your dock, and a valley that's finally breathing free. If you stuck around this long, drop a comment. The valley protects its own. Tell me where you're watching from, and let's hear it. Do you think folks like Clarissa ever change, or just find new places to start over? And hey, if you like this story, hit subscribe. Real stories, real land, real lessons, maybe even a little peace next time around.